Good night, everyone. I just put on my hat, but my hair a mess. Ooh, we are live. 2 questions. This is last week we're doing question 1s and 2s, right? Last question 1s and 2s. All right. Let me go live on the TikToky. Yeah. This is not from WhatsApp. I know. I know. This are our pictures? Yeah, right there. Hey, what's up, Andrew? Good night, Andrew. Good night, Preston. Good night, Isaiah. Abby, the Kilometer. Good night, everyone. Tired, like, whoa. Abby, can I have a water, please, before I go, please? Thank you. You know, I try to figure out why this YouTube camera? How come this YouTube camera that shows so? I can't zoom in somewhere. TikTok. All right, CSEC Maths. Questions 1 and 2. So today will be the last day we're doing questions 1 and 2, right? Good night, everybody. All right. Good night, good night, good night. Good night, Amy. That's Amy. Paul. Okay, 9:05. 5 minutes will be about all that I am giving everyone to join, right? I understand my TikTok have that a little bit. TikTok does usually be full. All right, so let's go. So 2 questions. I want this class to run fast because I actually have some stuff to do. Some guys were just here fixing the washing machine, and I don't want to clean up now after they finish. So we're moving through this quickly. Okay? So we have, all right. So we have 4 and 1/5 multiplied by 1/3 minus 1 1/4. So what we're going to do first, we are going to multiply 4 and 1 over 5 multiplied by 1 over 3. Right? This will give me, when I multiply these two, because you have to multiply before you add or subtract. When I multiply these two, I'll get 1 and 2 over 5. Right? Then I am going to proceed to minus 1 1/4. Right? 1 1/4. When I do this, what would I get? I would get 1 minus 1 and 1 over 4 equals 3 over 20. Right? That's my answer for part, number 1, part E1. Right? Hey, good night, Michaelia. Hi. Okay, scrolling down. All right. Tonight, last session with questions 1 and 2. Next week, we'll go on to question 3s and 4s. So for a question like this now, we need to calculate the top first, right? The numerator. So on your calculator, you're going to punch in 4.1 minus 1.25 squared, right? Equals 2.5375 all over 0.005. So you're going to now divide by 0.005 to get 5.507, right? 507.5. Okay, that will be my answer here. Good night, everyone. All right. So let's go scrolling down. All right. So a stadium currently has a seating capacity of 15,400 seats. Right? Calculate the number of people in the stadium when 75% of the seats are occupied. So 75% of the seats would be 75 over 100 multiplied by 15,400, right? All over 1. Okay? So I'm going to do 75 over 100 multiplied by 15,400 to give me 11,550. Okay? All right, everyone? That's fine, guys. Hold on. All right. Good. So this will be dollars. Right? We ain't looking to stay here beyond 9:30 tonight, right? Remember, this is the continuous revision series, right? Continuous revision series. So the stadium is to be renovated with a new seating capacity at 20,790 seats. After the renovation, what will be the percentage increase in the number of seats, right? So after the renovation, what will be the percentage increase? The first thing we'll need to find is the increase, right? So your increase will be equal to the 20,790 minus what was the original seating capacity? 15,400, right? 15,400. 15,400. And when I minus this now, what would I get? Let's see, 20,790 minus 15,400 would give me 5,390. Okay, this is how much the seating capacity increased by. Now we need to find the percentage increase. Right? So that percentage increase would be the increase, which is 5,390, divided by the original amount, which is 15,400, multiplied by 100 over 1. Right? The increase over the original amount multiplied by 100. Okay? Yeah, me, thanks. I forgot the dollars high up, but I put it in. Thank you. Right? So when we work out this, what would we get? So to be 5,390 over 15,400, right? 5,390 over 15,400 multiplied by 100 will give me 35. Message 35 if you got 35% increase. Message 35. I feel like going back to a smaller thing. All right. Let me know how we looking here. TikTok message 35 if you got 35 here. Very good, Andrew. All right, we're going down. Only 2 questions we're doing every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, every Tuesday. I'm doing like all them online teachers now. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 p.m. we go live on TikTok and YouTube for our CXC 2 question series, right? It's a constant revision series. Also, if you want to do classes, so for lessons, all right, you're going to message 366-6160 or 265-4389, right? Any one of these numbers for lessons, right? We have lessons on the weekend. These are free, right? These are free, okay? Free and lessons on the weekend, right? So y'all can take it in. Right, we're going. Bonnie, no, I can leave that there. Right. So a neon light flashes 5 times every 10 seconds. Show that the light flashes 43,200 times in one day. So we're going to build it up, right? It's flashing 5 times every 10 seconds. Let me see how much seconds we get in an entire day, right? So we build it up. So I'm going to write seconds in a day, right? Seconds in a day would be equal to, we build it up. So we started with how many seconds in a minute, that's 60, multiplied by how many minutes in an hour, that's 60, multiplied by how many hours in a day, that is 24. Not 24, yeah, 24 hours in a day. Is it one day? Yes, they said one day. So that's where we got the 24 from, right? Scrolling back down. Right, what you getting here? 60 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 24. Right? So I'm getting 86,400 seconds in a day. Now we want to know how many 10-second intervals there are in this total amount of seconds. So I'm trying to find the 10-second intervals, right? Basically, how many 10-second intervals in one day. For those who now joining, no, this is not seats, Mia. See us sending the message there. This is seconds. A neon flashes 5 times every 10 seconds, show that the light flashes 43,200 times in one day. I found out how many seconds in one day. Now I need to find out how many 10-second intervals in one day. That will be equal to 86,400 divided by, yeah, the one above was seats, correct. All right, divided by 10, which will give me 8,640. It's like the zeros cancel, right? Just so, guys, I think Mia wanted to see something up here. Yeah, it was seats, but they asked us for the percentage increase here. Yeah, that's, woo, yeah, very good. Very good, Mia. This was supposed to be seats. Very good, Mia. Thank you. Right? So we're going back down. That was seats. Right. So we have 8,640 10-second intervals in one day, basically. Right? This is in one day. Therefore, I am asking you now how many how many times, right? It's 5 times every 10 seconds, right? 5 times every 10 seconds. If we have 8,640 10-seconds intervals, I'm going to take 5 multiplied by 8,640 to find out the total amount of flashes per day. When you multiply this, it's supposed to get 43,200, which is what they asked us to show above, right? So this is 43,200 flashes, right? Neon light flashes. So we'll just put the word flashes. Flashes. Okay, let me put this here. Talk to me, everybody good there? Very good, Jaden. Right? Every Tuesday and Thursday. Right? Coming back up here, just to show you all, because I see to have 66 people online here on TikTok, and we have 29 people on YouTube, right? Free lessons, and this is paid, right? For paid lessons on the weekend, right? Message these two numbers, right? Tuesday and Thursday, 9 p.m. is free. Paid lessons on the weekend will be 366-6160 or 265-4389. Any one of these numbers you can message to get all your information. Let me make this a little better. Throughout the class, I'll go back to this, right? So we're going down. Right. We have some factorization to do here. We have some bad boys to do here. Right. So when you are factorizing, it means that you basically want to pull out the HCF, right? So you want to pull out the HCF, right? The highest common factor. That's why I call it, right? You're going to pull out the highest common factor. What will be the highest common factor of 5h to the second power minus 12hg? The HCF of these two algebraic terms, this is CXC, not SEA, guys. This is CXC, not SEA. So the HCF of these two terms would actually just be H, right? So H can go into this and H can go into this, right? So I'm going to put my HCF on the outside. I'm going to open my brackets. H into 5h squared will leave me with 5h minus h into 12hg would leave me with 12g. Complete factorization here, my children. Complete factorization, right? Scrolling down. We want to do a quadratic factorization, a question that gives so much people trouble in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean by extension, right? So this is my quadratic. For those who can't remember, the form of quadratic is usually in a quadratic is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c, right? Ax squared plus bx plus c. This is in quadratic form. So my process is we're going to multiply a by c, right? So a multiplied by c, c being -6, 2 multiplied by -6 would give me -12. That number goes above the x. The number that goes below the x would be b. B is actually going to be understood as -1, right? -1 is understood there. So I'm looking for two numbers, right? It's YouTube and TikTok. I'm looking for two numbers that can multiply to give me the number above, and those same two numbers must add or subtract to give me the number underneath, right? So those two numbers will be what, boy? 4 3s are 12. So I'm using 4 and 3. One of them has to be a negative, right? Now I want to get -1 when I minus or add, so I'm going to put the negative by the larger number, right? So -4 multiplied by +3 would give me -12, and then -4 plus 3 would give me -1. So I could write it in the corner here. -4 multiplied by +3 would give me -12, and then -4 plus 3 would give me -1, right? So it checks out, right? This is a question that gives a lot of children problems, right? It checks out. Okay, remember this question is a trial and error question. What I do is I usually put the x here and I tell students that this negative 4x and this plus 3x is going to replace this number in the middle here, or this term in the middle here, which is negative 1x. So I'm going to rewrite my quadratic, leaving out that negative 1x in the middle there, right? So the question becomes 2x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 6, right? Okay? Okay, minus 6. So I have a 4-term algebraic expression now, a 4-term algebraic expression. Very good, Andrew. I know you're always on top of things. Right, so let me go. 4-term algebraic expression here. So I'm going to factorize 2 at a time, right? So what could go into 2x squared and 4x here? What is the HCF of 2x squared and 4x? The HCF here would actually be x. That's what I'm factorizing out, right? So when I factorize out x into 2x squared would leave me with 2x, and then x into negative 4. Wait, I can factorize out 2 here too. I'm now watching this. Hold on. Because 2 is the HCF of 2 and 4. So I can't factorize out 2. Let me erase this. So I factorized out 2 also. So 2x into 2x squared will leave me with x. And then 2x into 4x would leave me with negative 2. Right? Then you bring down the sign that is in the middle here, plus. Okay? What could go into 3x and 6? The number that could go into 3x and 6 would be 3. That is what I'm factorizing out. 3 into 3x would give me x. 3 into 6 would give me negative 2. My two brackets must be the same at this point. The two brackets that are the same become 1, right? And the other bracket is formed by what is in front of the first here, which is the 2x, and what is in front of the second, which is the plus 3. Quadratic factorization, right? Proper thing. Or let's share up the live, or let's like up the live, right? Very good, Mia. Very good, very good. Love it how you all involved, right? We're going again. Right, so we have an equation here that we're going to solve, right? This equation is going to be r plus 3 is equal to 3 by r minus 5, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get rid of this brackets first. That's what I want to do first. So I'm going to multiply 3 by r, and I'm going to multiply 3 by negative 5, right? So I'm going to put it in red here. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to get rid of brackets, okay? So when I get rid of that brackets, my children, I will put back r plus 3 is equal to 3 multiplied by r would be 3r, and then 3 multiplied by negative 5 will give me negative 15. So at this point, I want to get all the r's on one side, so I'm going to carry this 3r here. Understand that it's plus 3r, it becomes minus 3r when it goes to the right, and I'm going to carry this plus 3 here. That plus 3 will become minus 3, right? So I'm going to put back the r here because that didn't go anywhere. Put back the minus 3r. Well, not put back, but put in the minus 3r. Okay? Yes, that is how I teach, right? I teach as if somebody is saying it on TikTok that this is very easy, but I teach as if my basic thing for teaching is teach like if nobody understands, right? At all times. So you're going with negative 15 plus 3 becomes minus 3 when it comes on this side, right? Now, at this point here, understand that this is plus 1r minus 3r. That will give you negative 2r, right? Two signs are different, so you subtract. So you take 1r from 3r, you get 2r. Keep the sign in front of the larger number. The two signs are the same here, so you must add. You get 18. Keep the sign in front of the larger number at all times when you are adding and subtracting, right? At this point here, you're going to take negative 2, carry it there. do the opposite of multiply, because multiplication is actually understood in between this -2 and this r, right? So the opposite of multiply is actually to divide. So this will be -18 divided by -2. R will be equal to, Shania, stay, eh? I see you liking my life here. You're supposed to be on YouTube. Shania. 32 people on YouTube, right? We have almost 100 people on TikTok, and we have 32 people on not Instagram, sorry, on YouTube. So I'll scroll back up to this now, right? For those who now come in, this is what's going on here, right? Every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 p.m. on both YouTube and TikTok. This will be free. And if you want paid lessons on the weekend, very good, Shania. Paid lessons on the weekend, you're going to message one of these two numbers, right? Okay? So we're going back down. Yeah, we get 9 there. Very good, Alejandro. Very good. So remember, this is a continuous revision series. We are only doing 2 questions per night. Next week, we are going to be moving on to questions 3 and questions 4, right? So we go in here. Make K the subject of the formula. We have 2a equals to pi k squared plus 3t, right? If I want to make K the subject, I want to move everything around K. So I'm going to take this 3t, carry it here. You're going to do the opposite of add, which is to minus. 2a was there, 2a did not go anywhere. You put back that 2a minus 3t, and this is going to be equal to pi k squared, right? Fun fact, in order to access that k, you need to get rid of that pi. What is understood between pi and k squared would actually be a multiplication sign. The opposite of multiplication is division. So you're going to divide that pi on the left, and you're going to divide it by everything that is already on the left. So this will be 2a minus 3t all over pi is going to be equal to k squared, because k squared is still on the right-hand side by itself, right? The whole mission of changing the subject of the formula to a different variable is to get that variable on one side of the equal sign by itself. So at this point, we're going to do the opposite of squared here, right? For those who don't know the opposite of squared, the opposite of squared is square root, right? Opposite of square is square root. So I actually need to find the square root of every single thing on the left-hand side, right? So this will be 3t all over pi is equal to, that will leave the k by itself on the left, right? Is everyone clear here? Very good. Very good, Isaiah Boss. Very good, Andrew. Very good, TikTok. All right? There we go. We're working. All right? We're working. So I believe this is the last question. Yeah, this is the last question for tonight. Join me next week, Tuesday, for free lives. Only 2 questions per night, right? I'm not going to stress you all out. And guys, we have something called crash courses. I don't believe in crash courses. I believe in continuous revision, right? Continuous. What's something here? We go and do an inequalities question. So I'm going to link it to what I believe in, right? Okay, or constant revision is greater than crash courses, right? So get your head in the game and let's do continuous revision every Tuesday and Thursday leading up to exams, right? So a farmer plants 2 crops, potatoes and corn, right? So big man farmer planting potatoes and corn. on a 10-hectare piece of land, right? The number of hectares of corn planted in C must be at least, right? That word at least is a very powerful phrase, right? At least twice the number of hectares of potato. They want you to write two inequalities to represent the scenario above, right? So basically, if you go and plant two crops on a 10-hectare piece of land, it means that your corn plus your potatoes cannot be, it must be less than or equal to that 10 hectare, right? Corn plus potato must be less than or equal to the 10 hectares of land, meaning that all your corn and all your potato, hey, this is not part of the question, eh, guys? I don't know nobody to come in because I've seen people coming in the live here, right? Hold on. I see people coming in the live. I don't want them to see this and say, boy, wait, what madness is man writing here? This was just my belief, right? Okay? I just believe constant revision is greater than crash courses, right? So we go in. We had potato and corn is less than or equal to, because it's 10 hectares, I didn't put the equal to sign, less than or equal to 10 hectares. So if you have 10 hectares of land, you could plant up 5 with corn, and you could plant up 5 with potato, right? So we go in. The next inequality they gave us here would be corn must be at least twice the number of potatoes. So corn at least means what? That word at least, if I say go in the shop and bring at least 5 Coca-Colas, right? Bring 5 Coca-Colas to me, at least 5 Coca-Colas. We're talking about 5 Coca-Colas or less, right? So corn would be at least twice, right? Which means it would be less than or equal to twice the number of potatoes, right? Okay? At least twice the number of potatoes. Wait, I write this wrong. I write this wrong. Hold on. If you go to the shop and you bring in, I will talking away. If you go to the shop, right, and you're bringing at least 10 Coca-Colas, right? It means you're bringing 10 or what? 10 or more, my children. Sorry, my mistake. 10 or more, right? No. Yeah. 5 or more. Yes, correct. Andrew, you were correct. Right? So, at least means your corn is greater than or equal to 2 times the potatoes, right? So this is, I believe, is the last question. Right? So you'll fix that there, right, Isaiah? Fix that. So guys, constant revision, right? Please, constant revision is greater than crash courses, right? Crash courses will just fluster your mind and you will just be going mad, coming closer to the exam. So I'll see you all next week, Tuesday, right? We go on to question 3s and 4s. Let me write it here, right? So next, I am not making an ad for this anywhere, because when I make an ad, it's not like 1 million people, and then they just expect me to come every week. If a week I get sick, or they won't see me, right? So next Tuesday, we're doing question 3s and 4s. All right? Okay, so y'all follow. 94 people on TikTok, follow me. Andrew, love in the house, brother. All right? Love in the house. Okay, y'all follow. We gone. All right? I'm going to sign off here one time. End stream one time. Bye, Mia.